Okay, now we're going to look at numbers 46 through 60 on our semester 1 review. Right here, we have, we're going to translate or slide this figure so that point A is at the origin when this is done. So what we're doing is we are taking point A and we're moving it to this spot right here, which means we would be moving it to the left 1, 2, 3 units. So if we're going to the left 3 units, that's going to be a -3. And actually we're talking about a vector here. And then we're going down 1, 2, 3, 4 units, which is going to be -4. So that's our vector for this translation. So what we have to do now is we have to take point B and we have to move it 3 units to the left. 1, 2, 3. And then 4 units down. 1, 2, 3, 4. That would be the new point, or point B, which the coordinates for that point are 1, 2, 3, 4. 4 across to the right, and 1 down from the origin, -1. So our answer would be 4, -1, or A. Okay, 57. It's hard to read this, so let's go ahead and kind of redraw that so you can see it. We have A, B, D, and C. We have X. We have 59 degrees here. Then we have Y. Now, these two segments are congruent, and these two segments, our angles, are equal to each other. So basically what we're saying is if we look at the triangle ABC, this large triangle, this angle right here is congruent to this angle. So this is 59 degrees. And let's see what else can we figure out from this. So we can find this larger angle because 59 plus 59 plus this large angle right here should equal 180. So let's figure out what 59 plus 59 is. 118. So if we subtract 118 from 180, we end up with 62. Now notice that these two angles were congruent to each other. That means they're both add up to equal 62. So if we take half of that, we end up with 31. So each angle is 31 degrees. So that leaves me with y equaling 31 degrees. And I can find out what x is because 31 plus 59, if I subtract that from 180, that'll give me this angle right here. So that ends up being 90 degrees. 90 from 180 equals 90. So x equals 90 degrees. Which is answer, let's see, x equals 90, y equals 31, D is my answer. Okay, 48. It says that if T is the midpoint of SU, that means these two segments are congruent, find the values of x and ST. That means that 6x is equal to 4x plus 24. And we're just going to solve for x at first. Subtract 4x from both sides, and we get 2x equals 24, and x equals 12. So D is out, and A is out. Now it says to find ST, so we're going to plug that into ST. ST is 6x, so 6 times x, or 12, which we found it to be, equals 72, which means my answer is C. Okay, find AC. Well, here's A. Here is C. How many units is it away? Actually, we could actually just count that. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. B. Number 50, find the length of AB. Given that DB is the median, that means these two segments are congruent, since DB is the median, and AC equals 46. That means the whole segment is 46 degrees, but they're both equal to each other, so what is half of 46? 23. That means X, or A segment AB, is 23 degrees, or 23, sorry. Next one we have MO bisects angle LMN. That means these two angles are congruent. LMO is 7x minus 20. NMO, 2x plus 30. They're equal to each other, so if I'm going to solve for x, I'm going to say that 7x minus 20 equals 2x plus 30. Subtract 2x, add 20 to both sides, divide by 5, and x equals 10. Which means C is out, and A is out. Now I'm solving for LMN, so the whole angle. Now I don't have an equation to plug that into, but I can plug it into this equation, or this expression. So 7 times x, which is 10, minus 20. 70 minus 20 is 50, which means this angle is 50. And if they're both equal to each other, then this angle is 50, and the whole angle is going to be 100, which is D, my answer. Okay, look at number 52. We have a transversal, what is the converse of the following conditional? If a point is in the first quadrant, then its coordinates are positive. And remember, the converse is just where we flip them. So instead of this statement starting with, if the point is in the first quadrant, it's going to start with if the coordinates are positive. So this is going to be my first statement, which I see right here. And then this is going to be my second statement, which is right here, which is why A is my answer. Okay, number 53, BD bisects. If we wanted to draw a picture of that, we could. BD bisects BD A, B, C. That means these two angles are congruent. ABC is 7x, so the whole thing is 7x. And ABD is 3x plus 10. Well, if they're both congruent, then they are both actually 3x plus 10, aren't they? So if we were going to write an equation for this, we could say, let me zoom this out so I have room to work here. We could say 3x plus 10 plus 3x plus 10 equals 7x. Combine like terms, 6x plus 20 equals 7x. If I subtract 6x from both sides, I have that x equals 20. Now they want me to find the measure of angle DBC, which we saw was 3x plus 10. So 3 times x, which we found to be 20, plus 10. 3 times 20 is 60, plus 10 is 70. That's my answer, C. Okay, what is the inverse of this statement? Now remember, the inverse is just where we add the word not to it. We add the negation. So if she studies hard in math, it's going to say she does not study hard in math. If it says she will succeed, we're going to say she will not succeed. So we add the negation to both the hypothesis and the conclusion. Okay, number 55. This is an external angle right here. It's equal to the sum of the two remote interior angles. So 113 is equal to 67 plus x. Solve for x by subtracting 67, and we end up with x equaling 46. And that is A. Okay, 56. Identify the hypothesis and the conclusion of this statement. Remember, the hypothesis is the first statement. If tomorrow is Monday, that's the hypothesis. Tomorrow is Monday, so C and D are out. The conclusion is yesterday was Saturday. The answer is A. 57. Classify the triangle by its sides. Diagram is not drawn to scale. The sides are 8, 8, and 9. Remember, first of all, D is not the answer because that's based on angles. Equilateral means they're all equal. Isosceles means two are equal, and scaling means none are equal. Well, this has two congruent sides, so it's an isosceles triangle. Okay, based on the pattern, what are the next two terms in the sequence? Well, to go from 5 to 14, they added 9. To go from 14 to 23, they also added 9. And from 23 to 32, they added 9. So we're going to add 9 to 32, which is 41. And we're going to add 9 to that, which would be 50. So my answer is D. What property says that something is congruent to itself? That's the reflexive property, C. The last question for this review, the law of detachment says that if two angles are congruent, then they have equal measures. Well, then they say R and S are congruent, therefore the measures of angle R are going to be equal to the measures of angle S, which is B.